Good evening, everyone. My name is Rabbi Larry Cernovitz. I'm the CEO of Hillels of Georgia, and I want to thank everyone for being with us this evening. Um, I'm going to make one request of everyone. Actually, I'll make it two. One, that you stay on mute as we're presenting this evening until we go into breakout rooms by campus. And the other thing, that if you are able to, if you could, uh, if you could turn your videos on. Um, and the reason why I ask is it's really good to see each other's faces in the midst of challenge, in the midst of difficulty in our world. It's nice to be able to look at other people, even if it is in the Hollywood Squares rooms of the Zoom room. But I just want to reiterate on behalf of all of the team at Hillels of Georgia that we want to thank you for being here this evening. We are in unprecedented times, and on Tuesday we had so many of your children, so many of our students, in a statewide Hillels of Georgia call with the one of our Israeli consulate staff members, our Deputy Consul General Anna Steingart, who is here with us tonight as well. And Anna, I want to thank you for being here with us again. And the purpose of this evening is twofold: is one, to come together as a statewide community, which is really important at this time. And many of you, I'm sure, were at the Big Jewish Federation event in City Springs. I was there as well, and 5,000 strong of the Metro Atlanta community were there to support one another. But it's a challenge when your students are on campus and you're not with them. You're not there to take care of them and safeguard them and give them hugs. But we are. We're taking care of your students. And what I want to say as we begin this evening is, one of the most important things that I can say is that, in coordination and collaboration with universities across the state of Georgia, for the most part, what I will say, for the most part, we have incredible collaboration and conversation, and our campuses are responding beautifully. For many of you, you may have noticed that the first university, and I give President Greg Fenves much credit, who came out early on at Emory to make a statement in support of the Jewish community, outside of the fact that he is he's a Jewish university president, and he personally visited Emory students in Israel recently in this past year. And just today, President Jerry Moorhead at the University of Georgia issued an equally powerful statement supporting our students, and spent hours today at the University of Georgia with several of our students, talking with them and listening to them and supporting our community. We have President Cabrera at Georgia Tech, and you'll hear more of these, by the way, these stories in our breakout rooms tonight, who is the president of Georgia Tech, who spent time at the vigil with our students, and Sydney can share a little bit more about that as well. And at Kennesaw State, we have President Schweig, who came and with her team, and they actually wrote letters to IDF soldiers supporting them at this time. It is an incredible thing of what we've done statewide. While we still have work to do, it's important that today, which is the day of resistance for the Students for Justice in Palestine, was a national call for protest. On the majority of our campuses have been quiet. We are working with, and will continue to work with, Georgia State, and our Georgia State campus director, Adam Strader, who's here with us tonight, and who is also our senior Jewish educator, and I are working with President Brian Blake to get a better response. And we know we had some challenges at Oglethorpe, for those of you who have students at Oglethorpe as well. All of this to be said, that we are leveraging the power of the statewide Jewish community to make sure that our students are protected and are safe. And for the most part, we can say that they are. The biggest thing that I can say is that on our campus teams, and this evening, so you may be able to see some of the faces on the screen, and you can wave when you hear your name. I'm really proud of our team, who's really showed up and really have done an amazing job on our campuses. Every one of our campuses have had vigils and support, with Rabbi Alon Schwartz here from Emory, and Abby Frankel, who is our Springboard Fellow. And we send our love to Gil Tal, who is our Israel Fellow, who is not on the call tonight. She has been broken up as her town of Ashdod has had many challenges and many losses. Our University of Georgia team, who this evening is represented by Mara. Mara, I know you're somewhere here on the screen, and Ruth Gal, who is our Israel Fellow. And Ruth Gal just heard some news today about a friend of hers who was killed. And for all of those who have lost loved ones, for you, Ruth Gal, and for Gil and others, as we say always, we say Zichronam Livracha, may their memories continue to be a blessing for us in the work that we do. We have Adam Strader, who's our Georgia State Director, Sydney Harlow, who is our Georgia Tech Director, Valerie Chambers, who's our Kennesaw State Director. We are doing incredible work across the state. That being said, for those of you who knew and woke up on Saturday morning to the horrible news of the unprovoked attack on Israel, and we know many of you who have been to Israel know some of the southern towns. In May, I was recently in a place called Nativ HaAsara, which is a beautiful Gaza border town. At least the other day, now 15 deaths in that town, as well as others. So a lot of what we're doing here today is the following: is that we remember how hard it is and what a challenge as well as a blessing it is to be part of the Jewish people, that we always continue to take care of each other, and we are resilient and will continue to be resilient, and know that our teams across the state are doing everything that we can to continue to build bridges, to create allyship. And on many of our campuses, many of our vigils were attended not just by the Jewish community, but by others as well, to help support us and to be there with us, because ultimately Jews shouldn't be fighting anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. It should be the rest of the greater community that we're seeing. Please know that one of the things that you'll hear from our Deputy Consul General this evening as well is the fact that this is just beginning. And as Jews with students in the University of Georgia, as well as across the state of Georgia, that this is going to be a prolonged war. And we're going to continue to see images and challenges as we move forward. The key is to communicate, and this is what we're doing together tonight, is bringing all of you together to see each other, to be together, and know that we are here for you, and we know that you're here for us and your students as we help to make sure that they make sense of everything. Because the one thing that we know is that we're not Jewish because of anti-Semitism. We are Jewish because of the joy and the pride and the incredible rich tradition that we have. And that is ultimately what is happening on our campuses as they come together. Literally hundreds and hundreds of our students have been together this week supporting one another, and that I'm really proud of. So with that, I want to introduce our Deputy Consul General, Anna Steingart, who has been amazing, and on Tuesday night spoke to your students, and this evening will give us a briefing and answer some questions from an Israeli perspective, from an Israeli government perspective of what to expect. So Deputy Consul General, Anna, it's great to be with you and to listen to you once again.
Thank you, Rabbi Stern. Thank you very much, and thank you for each and every one of you for being here in this meeting and here. It's very important. It's very important, like for me, for us as Israel, as Israeli consulate, but it's also very important for Israel, because the situation that we have today, it's completely different from everything that we knew before. And speak shortly, because I'm sure that you read and you hear a lot of news, and I will try to give you some and what we do as a consulate and as a state of Israel right now, and answer any of your questions. So just I don't want to repeat the news. I just want to give you our perspective of. I think it's appropriate to start with a statement that Israel is in a war now, and it's not our first war. I think Hamas or any other terroristic organization, but I think it's the first time for us that it started the way it started. It's the first time when we have these numbers of victims. Today we're talking about more than 1,200 killed, more than 3,200 injured people. And we know that these numbers are going to grow because we still don't see the whole picture. And I think the most the hurtest thing in those numbers, and that we are talking about civilians. We are talking about children and women and elderly, and we're talking about we never had it before. And this kind of situation put us in few open for us few fronts of the war. First of all, we now have a massive war in Gaza Strip. We still don't know what's going on, what's going to be in the north border, if it's going to be another front or we're talking about one front in Gaza Strip. But up to those fronts, we have as a society to understand how we live after what happens, after how we live with those pictures, with those stories, with those families, with those communities who went through this, who continue to went through this, because we're talking about more than 100 kidnapped people. And just before I opened the Zoom, I briefly saw the news in Israeli news. I'm not sure that it's official news, but I saw this in news that was 50 kidnapped people who was came back to IDF. They told that they're on the way to Israel. I don't know if it's true or not, but I felt like that I desperately need kind of good news, and I hope there is a really this is true, but I'm not sure. But honestly, I don't know how we as a society are gonna live the day after. And I'll give you two, I think, my personal examples. It's not statistic, it's not something that I measured, it's just my personal experience. First one is when I open my social media, and I do it a lot, almost every minute. Usually when we had this kind of operation, not the war, but when we had the operation, usually what I saw my friends posted, it's kind of, pictures and visual with numbers and things like that. What I see today is personal stories. It's the stories of friends, of families, of someone who's still missing, of someone that they don't know what's going on. And it's different. And another thing, I was thinking about it today, that usually when we have this sentence in Hebrew, "V'nizkor et kulam," we will remember everyone. It's kind of Jewish thing to remember. We want to remember each one of the person. And even if in a operation when we have a lot of soldiers or civilians hurted, we usually know the names and the stories. Somehow people know almost every names and the stories. And today we have so many people that I just see the pictures and I don't know the names. I don't know the stories. I don't know I don't know what does it mean 1,200 people, more than 1,200 people, and I don't know what does it mean this more. Like what is more, and this is the situation that we are. On the one hand, we say something terrible happened. We don't know how to live as a society afterwards. On the other hand, we say that we need to be united. We are united. We are strong. We see it in the government level. I don't know if you heard, but the news from yesterday night and today morning about the I don't know how to say it in English, I'm sorry. The government with a coalition and opposition are coming together to create the national government for this war. There's something that I don't think that any Israeli would think that those kind of things can happen, like politically, and we see it in the government level. We see it in a personal level. We see people trying to be together, trying to stand one for another. And another very important thing for us today is international community. Jewish community, of course, Jewish communities all around the world, and the international community, because we need it very much. The war just started. With only few days, I stopped count, I'm sorry, but we just a few days into this war, and we have big goals for this war. So it's going to take not just few days and maybe even not few weeks. So we need to be prepared, and we need international support to do what we need to do. And our main goal in this war is to be sure that Hamas, as a terrorist organization, will not have these abilities like he had in the past that allowed him to do what they did. And it's kind of a big goal. It's not, we didn't have this kind of goals in previous operations, sorry. We didn't want to destroy Hamas abilities in previous operation. So we understand that this kind of goal will take a while. And another personal experience, I arrived to Atlanta less than 2 months ago. They never live in North America, or in the Jewish communities in North America. And on Tuesday night, I arrived to Sandy Spring to the event. And I was shocked in a good way. I came with my daughter, she's 3 years old, and she's continued to ask who are the people and why so many people came to one place. And I didn't, I know what to tell her. I obviously didn't tell her about the war, but I told her that people came to stand for Israel. And then she asked why they need to stand to Israel. And then I gave her chips or chocolate or something like that, because I didn't have the answer for this question. But I saw something amazing. And I think this kind of events and this kind of statements that say that we are here, we are with you. It's not just Israel. It's not just the citizens of Israel or society of Israel. It's very important for us. And that's we as a consulate try to do in different levels. Together with Hillel in the campuses, in political levels, in cultural levels, in any levels that we can gather support and understanding that Israel has its right to defend itself. It's not just about support. It's not just such tragic things happened, but it's more about support to defend ourselves and to understand that it's going to take a while and it's going to be rough, tough. So this is kind of general, I don't know, overview, maybe too personal, I'm sorry. But I didn't cry, it's good. But I'll be glad to answer any question with any official information that I have, that we have as a consulate, and so feel free to ask any question, anything that you want to know.
Thank you, Anna. We really appreciate your remarks this evening. If you have a question, we have some time for a few questions before we go into our breakout rooms, and just before we do, we're going to offer a prayer for the state of Israel. So if you have a question, feel free to either physically raise your hand, and we'll go around, or if you are proficient in Zoom, you can put your virtual hand up as well. So we have some time to answer some questions. So please feel free to raise your hands now if you have questions for the Deputy Consul General or for us as well. Getting this many Jews in a room without a single question is a feat unto itself. So as far as funds go, thanks, Andrea. They're actually, and it's very interesting, and Anna can actually tell you more, because that certainly for Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta, there is an emergency fund for Israel. If you, and far be it from me to turn down an offer to make a donation to Hills of Georgia to support our students on campus, feel free to do so. But Anna will tell you, actually, many of the regional councils actually have specific need that you can help them with on the ground direct help. Would you, if you would tell them a little bit more about that opportunity?
Yeah. So we have, of course, we have a list of organizations. So you can donate directly to Israel's organization. We have a list of regional councils they have their list of what they need. Usually it's medical supply or different supply that they need, so we can connect you directly to those. And today I saw at least two kind of I don't know, companies. One is for Be'eri, Kibbutz Be'eri, and the second one is for Kfar Aza. Both of them are in Be'eri. It's every 10th person in kibbutz was killed. It's kind of there's two communities that felt it in a very hard way. So they have their own. I don't know if it's a kind of a program you can connect with them directly, kind of campaigns, and donate to them directly to rebuild the kibbutz and rebuild the Kfar Aza. In Be'eri, actually, it was like I saw the some of the girls, ladies from the kibbutz, he wrote a message saying that we're going to rebuild the kibbutz and we stay here. It's our home and we're not going to move from here. So it's kind of, for me, it was powerful message today. So we have a list of it. If you need any connections, we can do it.
The question in the chat room is that stories about reservists or lone soldiers in need of army and protective gear. Are you hearing those as well?
I don't know. It's if you mean that they need something in the army? They now in the army and they need something. Like I don't think that I understand the question.
Tali, if you want to unmute and give a little bit more specifics to your question.
Yeah, thank you. Just
Sure.
We're hearing stories or kids are texting one another about friends who are traveling back to Israel, or that they need helmets, they need gear. There's not enough equipment. The equipment is from the 1970s. And so I'm just curious if you're hearing something like this.
Sorry. Yeah, sure.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, Tali. I can elaborate in a second. Yes, like the amount of people coming for reserve, people are flying from all over. Like Israel is packed with people trying to serve and coming to reserve. We have like an amount of like 130% of like people are coming back for reserve. So the IDF needs them, but they also don't have a lot of equipment. And I know that we have like UGA and a lot of Georgia campuses has reserve lone soldiers that are trying to help their unit. So you might have seen some text message from like our alumni that are like trying to spread the word around like the student stories and stuff like that. So yes, they're looking, and I can also share, we can work on an email with like the list of places that you guys can donate, and like we can share reliable places that we know, like we know the students, we know the stories, we know the units. But I think
yeah, actually we don't have any official request from IDF that they need the extra supplies. So I believe it's different from one unit to another. I'm not trying to say that everything is okay or everything is not okay. I'm just saying that we don't have the official request. And I will share with you that yesterday in this moment when you read a lot of personal stories, and so I was looking for some like good news or something to smile, and there are many I don't know, kind of videos from soldiers, and they're showing what their like rooms are full of chocolate and chips and like different stuff that people all over the Israel sent to them, cooked food and things like that. And they're kind of in a funny way try to say, please help us stop sending things because we cannot find our beds and we don't know where to sleep because it's too many stuff all over here. I'm not sure that it's kind of same thing, but we don't have any official request from the IDF. So that's what I know. Larry, I think it's for you. You're on mute.
It's only been several years. Yes, thank you. For students that don't have full-time or part-time campus directors, Mercer and some of the other ones, we've actually this year had a lot of requests for support and campus support at Oglethorpe and Mercer, Agnes Scott, and Berry College, and we can keep on going throughout the state of Georgia. One of the things that we can say is please have them reach out to us, because some of our staff actually have been doing some programming on those campuses. And the others, what we can do is in many places, we've identified faculty advisors until we can build up to have more staff on those campuses. Hills of Georgia continues. Our goal is to allow every Jewish student to have a vibrant Jewish life on campus. So we continue to work on that all the time. So feel free to reach out to us, and we are happy to help out. Abby, did you have something you wanted to add?
Just really quickly, in terms of Mercer specifically, I know that Georgia College is holding a lot of space. It is a 45-minute drive, but they have a gorgeous building. They're holding space there tomorrow, as well as locally, the 2 synagogues in Macon have been holding events as well, which is a little bit closer than Milledgeville would be.
Great. Thanks, Abby. Great. All right. So with that, what we're going to do, Alon, did you want to share?
Yeah, if any of you have students at Agnes Scott, we've been working with them on a number of things over the course of this year, and we can connect you with the right people there who are supporting Jewish students.
For sure. Thanks a lot. So with that, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask Valerie, who is our campus director at Kennesaw State, to offer a prayer for the state of Israel. And then following that, we're going to break out into campus breakout rooms. And Benny's going to spin everybody off into those rooms. If you want to stay in the main room, you can certainly do that, as we'll have a conversation there as well. But if you do have a student at one of the campuses, please make sure you are connected to that Zoom room, and we'll help you get there. So Valerie, if you would please offer prayer for the state of Israel.
Avinu Shabashamayim, Sor Yisrael ve'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Semichat Geulatenu, Hagen Aleha be'evrat Chasdecha uferos Aleha Sukat Shalomecha, Ushalach Orecha ve'amitecha Lerashiha Seriha ve'yo Atziha ve'takenem be'etza tova milefanecha. Chazak et Yidei Meginei Eretz Kadeshenu, V'hanchilem Eloheinu Yeshua va'ateret nitzachon te'aterem v'natata shalom ba'aretz v'simchat olam le'yoshiveha. Our heavenly parent, rock, fortress, and redeemer of Yisrael, bless the state of Israel, the initial sprouting of our redemption. Shield her beneath the wings of your loving kindness. Spread over her your sukkah of peace. Send your light and your truth to its leaders, officers, and counselors, and correct them with your good counsel. Strengthen the defenders of our holy land, grant them salvation, and crown them with victory. Establish peace in the land and everlasting joy for her inhabitants.
And we say together, Amen, Amen. So at this time, before we spin you out into rooms, please know that all of our campus directors, as well as Hillels of Georgia, are here. If you have questions, if you need support, connections, and a lot of what we're also doing is making sure our students have access to counseling on our campuses to make sure that they have people to talk to during this time. So if you have any questions, if you need anything, all of our contact information is on our website, hillsofgeorgia.org. Feel free to see it, connect with us, and we are in this together for the long haul. And Anna, for you, thank you so much for being with us this evening. And we know that we continue to partner with the Council with the consulate, and beside the fact that the consul general is in the same office space as Hills of Georgia, in the same building. We are always with you and continue to stand with Israel as an organization, as a statewide organization. So with that, Benny will spin you off into campus rooms with your directors. If you have any questions, let us know. Thank you once again on behalf of Hills of Georgia for being here with us this evening.